us by blessing us with a prayer to the seat. And she graciously Joshua, Creator God, thank you for this beautiful day today. Thank you for all the people that attended this. Give us blessings tonight to the speaker that traveled here to tell us his story about his beautiful sister. He's still with us in spirit. God, I want to pray for all those that are missing, all those sisters and brothers that are missing. I want them to know that we feel about that these kind of things help our people so that this doesn't continue to happen. God, take care of all our children, grandchildren, cheese, laws, all of the unity, what we are doing across the United States. God, this doesn't just happen here. It happens in the States. So, Creator God, please bless that's here. Bless our speaker. Take care of him in his travels. Well, I want to welcome everybody to partake of this special event. My name is Stacy Eagle. I'm the program manager of the Great Lakes Tribal Council program. I want to take a few seconds to thank the Great Lakes Tribal Response staff, Heidi Hansett, program coordinator for the Haysapa area, and Larry Archambault, coordinator for our Crow Creek site. In 2020, the Great Lakes Tribal South Board was awarded a SAMHSA grant to address, to create new and create new resources that strengthen the capacity and ability to prevent and treat opioid use disorder, OUD, and stimulant misuse among tribal citizens ages 10 and older. To set the foundation of resource referral and development for culturally appropriate opioid use disorder and stimulant misuse prevention, intervention, and recovery support services. And to establish a Great Plains tribal opioid response community. That's what we call a community of practice. And what that is we invite all of the tribes, all of the organizations across the Great Plains region and the areas that we serve to join us for the quarterly meeting and talk about things that have challenges, also their successes, provide training and technical assistance. We just got a second grant. We got a second grant last year, actually. So that first grant, we worked with the Haysapa area, or our Black Hills area, and the Crow Creek Sioux Tribe Reservation. We got a second grant last year where we sub-awarded 4 tribes, which is Cheyenne River, Lower Pearl, Land Root, Sioux tribes, and as well as tribe of Nebraska. So we work with them, providing, they have the projects, each one has their projects according to their community and what their needs are, and we work with them and provide them funding for that. Today, we just found out that we got our second grant, so we get to continue our collaboration and our work here in the Haysapa and Sioux Tribe areas. So we're really excited. We're getting our grant ends next week, so we were kind of getting nervous there. I have a few housekeeping things that I want to ask you. Hi guys, come on in. Call you out like this. Okay, First of all, if you have not signed in, would you please do so and get a ticket or giving away some gift cards to Starbucks, and they're actually $5 gift cards, so not like a $2 one that you have to go in $2 to get. There's a QR code on your table. If you could scan that with your phone and do the survey, it's a survey after the event, and you just ask for your opinion so that we can do better, the server can do better. And would you please hold all your questions until after Mr. Meza presents. I want to thank special thank you to our Emergency Operations Center, our director. She's here, and I'm going to ask her, do you want to say a few words, or we would welcome you to. She partnered with our program to make this event happen. We're so thankful to all the work that our Emergency Operations Center has done through this whole pandemic and the services they've provided.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brenna Lanu. I'm the director of our Emergency Operations Center at Great Plains Tribal Leaders Health Board. We partnered with the opioid program to help sponsor food for tonight's event. This subject is really important to the Emergency Operations Center. We're working on starting a Native community response team here in the city to address this issue. So I'm grateful to the program for bringing me here tonight so I can learn next fall. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brenna. She's a mover and shaker in our organization. She makes a lot of things happen. There's another person I'd like to recognize tonight, and that is our fearless leader, Tosha Tupart. She's the director of community behavioral health, and I'm going to ask Tosha if she would say a few words to us. She's a young woman that I've known for a number of years. I'm very proud of her, and she's an excellent leader. Tosha?
Hey, good evening. I'll be just very quick. Thank you all for being here tonight, Friday night. I had the honor of listening to Meza in Las Vegas. I really thought it was important to be out here in our community. I am just thankful that you all are here and we're streaming live. So if you have friends who can't make it, watch. I hope you all enjoy your night. And, thank you.
I do want to mention that this is a very real, very raw story. If you feel yourselves being triggered in some way, please reach out to either myself, Ms. Trivia Craddock. She's the director of our connected program. We've got other staff, Sarah Mayer, any of us, please reach out. If you find yourself being triggered, you can decompress. Now, without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Raymond Meza. His sister Cynthia Williams was kidnapped and murdered in May of 2016. Two people, Sharon Marie Clark and Jeffrey Scott Williams, were convicted in federal court of charges related to her death. Since then, Raymond has dedicated his life to ending substance abuse and violence that plague the Colorado Indian Reservation, and to bring a voice, and to being a voice for his sister and the many others who have fallen victims of such horrible crimes. Through his own life experiences and challenges, Raymond has committed his life to helping others survive catastrophic circumstances and violence, and to helping others in the face of adversity. Please give Mr. Meza a warm welcome to our people.
Hear me? Well, I just want to start tonight out by giving all glory and honor to our Creator, the Lord, and just want to thank everybody for being here. Just like to thank the Great Plains for allowing me to come and share my story. Good evening. Thank you for being here with me. My presentation with you today is not only about my sister who was missing and murdered, but also advocacy. Advocacy provided to support families of violence and empowering ourselves and others in positive life-changing experiences. My name is Raymond Meza. I am Mojave Paiute. I'm from the Colorado River Indian community. I am the third child of 4 children. I'm the only son. I am a husband, a father, a grandpa, and an advocate for murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, and people. Part of the empowerment is to be transparent about my own experiences, such as my running with gangs, drugs, alcohol, jail, and prison. I believe that it's important to share this because, one, we are all God's children, and there is someone out there like me in which our experiences are life-changing in a positive way for ourselves, our children, our families, and our community. Our family originates with my mother, Rita Holmes, who is a single mother of 3 girls and 1 boy. And I am joined tonight with my son, 7-year-old son, Isaiah. I'm usually accompanied by my loving wife, Dawn, who has supported my family and I since day one. My wife, Johnny, days prior to me flying out, she always goes with me to all these events. She prays over me. And prior to us coming to this event, she was airlifted to Las Vegas, and she was just discharged the day that the flight took off. She's home at home watching, but also at home watching is my family and other members of my the Statue on Together group. And my wife, I just want to, if I can, just tell her I love you. I know you're with me. And the introduction, listening to the introduction, it hit home again, because you never really get over it. I am honored to be here tonight to share my sister's story, Cynthia Ann Williams, to educate us to be better at communication, collaboration, and assisting families who have or had murdered and missing Indigenous loved ones. It is not always about justice, as we often see justice in different ways. One of the mothers in our group, there's no justice for her. Just simply remembering her son as a protector is the justice that he's getting, and we honor her with that justice. His name was Rudy Flores. And so just the memory of that alone is justice. But as far as court-wise and criminal-wise, there is no justice to be had. So everybody gets different forms of justice. This is only our story, but I'm certain there are many out there similar to it. And as a matter of fact, upon checking into my hotel here in Rapid City, it didn't take long for the native sister that was checking me in for her to find out why I'm in town. And when I told her that I was advocate for MMIW and MMIP, it brought tears to her eyes because she had her own stories about the reservations here, about being human trafficked, and almost becoming an MMIW. It almost took everything from her to hold her back, reaching over the counter to hug me. And That alone just says a lot about this issue and how powerful it is. My sister Cindy was born April 11, 1974. Her parents are the late Gilbert Lee Williams of Olarabi and Hopi and Dorito Holmes of Parker, Arizona. Tragically, my sister's father was also murdered in 1988. He was thrown off of one of the canyons in Kings Canyon by picking up some hitchhikers when he got drunk with them and think it was racially motivated. But that was back in 1988. My sister Cindy has 3 siblings on her mother's side. She also has other siblings on her father's side. Cynthia was a smart, artistic individual. She was beautiful. She was very beautiful. She had a warm heart and a sense of humor. She became a mother at a young age of 17. And as the oldest sibling, she was also our second mom. She was the street smart. And she did everything she could to protect us. We originally come from Northern California, and we moved to Arizona in 1990. During this time is when my sister Cindy got pregnant and stayed behind. She got pregnant in California, and we left her behind. She was like 60 years old, so my mom tried to push responsibilities on her and make her stay with the dad, make the dad take responsibility. But after that, after the birth of her first child, she moved to Arizona to catch up with us to escape an abusive relationship with her father and his family. Since then, every relationship she was in resulted in verbal and physical abuse. During this time, she relocated to Arizona. She started experimenting with drugs, and she started hanging around the wrong crowd. After years of drug use, she moved back to California with her boyfriend, who became her husband and the father of her 2 daughters. She was forwarded into rehab, where she became sober for a few years. During this time, she enrolled in the college, and she graduated top of her class, earning a certificate as a medical assistant in UEI College in Loma Linda, California. She was really smart. She was always smart. She was that kind. I don't know why drugs just seem more appealing. She didn't have to be homeless, and that's what a lot of victim blaming happens. They think everyone out there doing drugs and everybody out there that's jumping from house to house. They think all of them are uneducated, all of them are lazy. They have this thought about them, and it's not even like that. Trying to juggle school, a new marriage, and sobriety with very little life skills. It proved to be too much for her. She eventually went back into drugs. She moved back to Parker while her husband and daughter stayed in California. After her divorce, she continued into her old ways and found comfort with her own friends. She became more distant. The drug use caused tension among the family. Her kids grew older and started lives of their own, and they see the way she was living. The drugs caused tension between her and her older kids. Our family believes it is important to share this because we all experience similar events in Cindy's life. She just didn't have the best opportunities like many of us to turn her life around. Drugs and alcohol are wicked, and they're from hell. My sister was smart. She went from moving from California to Arizona, and she stopped being a mother overnight. I mean, it happened so quick, none of us even realized it happened. And she stopped caring about the kids the way she normally would. And it's just amazing that with over a decade of this drug abuse and of just being high every day, and for her to be clean, and for her to pick up where she left off, go to college, and just graduate top of her class, I mean, she could have been anything. She could have been anything. I want to take time to recognize Cynthia's children. She has 6 beautiful children with 3 grandchildren who love to miss her daily. They are all learning how to live without their mom keeping her in memory. They are also present at most of these events. As a matter of fact, the youngest daughter's birthday is around May 5th, which is also the National MMIWG Awareness Day. This incident of her mother was significant to MMIWGs, will be forever in her, forever be a part of her life. First, we celebrate my sister's, her mother's memory, and then we celebrate her birthday, and then we celebrate the march at the Capitol on May 5th, and we usually go there and speak. And one year, this is hard because she knew her mother was gone, and she didn't know why. She was beginning to ask questions. And when we got to the state capitol, she was standing there, and it's caught on camera when she finally learned what happened to her mom as we were reading the speech. And she broke down crying. And then immediately after that, she got strong. She started surfing the internet. She started going on YouTube. She started getting the news clippings. She started getting the news videos of everything, and she followed along what happened to her mom, and now she understands. And she's still young, but she's totally into this now. And it's, every year on her mom's birthday, and every year she gets to get reminded because we march to the Capitol over in our family. My son here, when this happened to my sister, he was born in 2015, and my sister was murdered in 2016. And every year, and in between there, he's growing up into this movement. And now, last year, when we're at the state capitol, we're organizing the groups to start marching, and there was a lot of people, and it was a proud moment. My son came running up, and he's like, "Dad, put the hand on me, put the hand on me." And so we put the hand on him. He was yelling, top of his lungs, "We want justice. No more stolen sisters, no more stolen brothers." It was a proud moment, but it's a group you don't want to belong to, but it's a group that's growing bigger and bigger. On March 7th, 2016, my sister received a phone call from my sister Cindy. My little sister received a phone call from my older sister asking her to pick her up at a friend's house on River. And that was the last time my sister Cindy's voice was heard. On March 8th, around 7 a.m., a body was found in the canal down in the lower valley. My little sister Lisa called me and telling me a body was found at the river. I assured her it wasn't our sister, as the information was coming from individuals who were recovering from substance use. The rumors started from an NA meeting, an AA meeting. And so the rumors were going around Parker or Raymond that they pulled a body out of the river, a body that was tied, got taped up. And so immediately where I worked at, people's uncles and brothers are coming and they were telling my coworkers, "Hey, go check on your auntie, go check on your sister." You know what I mean? Everybody was rushing around because everybody was scared that it was their family member. And here I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there doing what I'm doing, and I'm listening to it. And my thought was, what do a bunch of tweakers and punks know more than the police? You know what I mean? So I'm like, we got to consider the source of it. But it turned out to be true. But my conscience want to let up on me. My little sister, she's the one that that checks on all of us. She always checks on all of us. She's like our mom. Who you with? What you do with your money? She does all that to us. And so I had to, just to put her mind at ease, I went and I filed a missing person report. The body would remain unidentified at the time. The FBI were called in and began trying to identify the deceased female. They began asking locals around town, showing pictures of the female with identifying marks. And rumors began to spread that it was our sister. We didn't believe it because we just spoke to her days ago. And we began trying to contact her, but we weren't able to. We began searching for her at Fred's house, and no one seemed to have heard from her since March 7th. March 9th, I went to the police station, inquiring about the body that was found, and told them our sister was missing. They were unable to give us information, but told us an officer will be by later to contact with us. That somebody will be by to talk with us in the morning. And you may not know, but this type of information, the families who have loved ones missing and are in a suspected homicide, just the wait is more traumatic than you could think. To be told to wait till the morning for someone to talk to you, and just everybody's finding their family members, and then slowly narrowing down to yours. I mean, and because me and my little sister, we were close, we're a good team. We're protecting moms, and mom's is in bad shape, she's diabetic, and we want to protect her mind, so we're not going to tell her about none of these rumors that are going around because we don't want to panic her. On March 10th, 2016, the day our lives were forever changed, was the day we found out our sister was murdered. The next excruciating pain is keeping all these events from my mom. Then the FBI notified my mother about family support around her and showed her pictures of my sister. This was very traumatic to my mom, and as a family, we had to pick up these pieces. Up until today, we are standing for my mother because she continues to envision the picture, but it's like a blur. She knows she looked at it, but she doesn't remember what it looked like. While this was happening, as a brother, I tried everything to protect my mom and my sister from seeing my sister in that state in the picture. I was too late. The picture was already shown to my mother. To this day, my mom does not remember what she picked, what the picture was, or she believes she's blocked that out of memory. I was on the California side, and I got a call by the FBI, and the FBI said, "Where can we meet your mom at?" And I was like, "Why?" So I started throwing. I tattooed my sister's arm, and so I was trying to give them more personal information, just so they could say, "Okay, it's not her, it's not her." But they weren't listening. They were just like, "We need to meet with your mom. We find her." And so I gave them the address, and then I called my little sister, and I told her, "You need to get over there really quick." And my little sister, she started panicking. Why? Why are they coming to talk to us? And so my little sister was falling apart. They were on their way to tell my mom. And so I rushed from the California side out to the reservation. And when I got to the housing projects where they were at, it was already too late. There was FBI, there was private police, and I could hear my mom already screaming. And when my little sister walked in the front door, because we almost arrived at the same time, they were trying to show my little sister a picture, but I wouldn't let her see it because I knew if she'd seen it, that she's so loving and it would haunt her. So I stepped in front of her and I identified her. Immediately I went to my mom. As a result of our experiences, my family and I began hosting awareness marches, walks, and events, etc., because we did not receive immediate support or guidance during our experiences, and we found that other families should have support and guidance, whether at a community level, but most important through the justice system, from investigation all the way through prosecution. Cynthia's death affected so many people in the community. Although her murder was still being investigated, we all knew it was drug related. Meth was and continues to run rampant around our reservation, as well as in neighboring reservations. This called for communities to stand together and bring awareness to this problem. Other communities were dealing with major drug problems and wanted to join in on bringing awareness, as well as demonstrating justice for her sister. Many people gathered together to support and to plan the community march that was known as Let Her Be the Last. The first march, my sister, is going to get kind of graphic. My sister Cindy, the manner that she was murdered upset so many people that even the criminal world was rocked. She was zip tied. She was beaten. She was stabbed 17 times. They shaved the top of her head. They ripped her shirt off and they threw all over her chest. Then they wrapped her in plastic and they threw her in the canal. And she didn't die from that. She died with water in her lungs, so she drowned. My sister withstood all that. And the FBI, and as a brother, I'm an ex-gang member. I'm an ex-brother. I'm an ex-prison gang member. And I had already left his life. And just knowing that someone did that to my sister, to hold everything back, I wanted to keep the doors. I wanted to go out there and, I mean, it's just to think about it. But that's the FBI and the tribal police told me, because I'm the only boy, they told me to go inside and mourn with my family. At that moment, there was no mourning for me. In the Bible, it's written that there's a season for mourning, and I believe that season wasn't for me. I was full of vengeance. I wanted to go get him, but I got on my knees and I asked the Creator to let me be honorable. If I be honorable and I don't hurt nobody, will you bring these people to justice? And that's what we did. The next morning, I asked my wife, because we all stayed together that night. We were lost, broken. What do you do? Like I said, I was my ex-drug dealer. The very community that I helped destroy. I mean, I've been in shootouts and everything. In the very community I helped destroy. Now that this is happening to my sister, who's going to help me? That's my thought. Where do I start? I mean, it's not like I grew up in college and all that stuff. It's not like I know where to start. So I asked the Creator. So I woke up the next morning, put in my mind, make some reward posters. I asked my wife, how much money you got? How much money you got? How much money you got? We got enough, to start off with $5,000. And we put my cell phone number on there instead of law enforcement. And then later on, the law enforcement found out and came immediately and said, you can't do that, you got to put our number. But by that time, it was already too late because we went up forever. Any place on social media that would allow us to upload a picture of my sister, we broke all the rules, the online yard sales, I mean, just anything, you know what I mean? The cosmetics, anything that would allow us to even comment. We put pictures and we blew you couldn't go on any site without seeing my sister's picture. We blew everything up. We went to the newspaper, we went to all the radio stations, and they were putting us on. Everybody wanted to help, but mostly when I would go into an establishment, I would ask the owner, I would go in there and I would say, can I speak with you? And the owner would be like, yeah. And I tell him, can I put this picture up? And he'd ask, what happened to her? And I would tell him, but I wouldn't tell him just a little bit. I would tell him what happened to her, how they done her. At that moment, I didn't know all the details. I didn't know about the stabbing. All I knew is that she was duct taped, that she was beaten, she was tossed in the mouth like garbage. But that was enough. And as I'm telling the store managers, the store owners, They said, yes, let's put it right here. Little crowds started building. People that were in there eating, whether it be a restaurant or anything, they came up and they started saying, we hope we find it before the police do, you know? And so it's like everybody wanted to know. And in some cases, like when the police say don't mention nothing because you might give up details and all that, that wasn't this case. In this case, the community, when we released the details of what happened there, the community, both tribal and non-tribal, came together. It was a powerful force. And, you know, what it boils down to is that we all put our differences to the side and just realized that she was a human being. And she didn't deserve what happened to her. And to gain trust of our community, that this is our opportunity to be transparent of my own life experiences. As mentioned earlier, I was a drug user, alcoholic, I served time. I felt it was important to share this because many people also experience similar situations. Once I did share, it was amazing and overwhelming how many people began showing up, even changing their lives as well to be drug and alcohol free. As Indigenous people, we believe there is always hope and opportunity for a change of life without being judged. As we know, only one person makes judgments of our lives, and we know what judgment day is. This is what I believe. While on Mother Earth, I want to be able to be present, share, and create opportunities for others to join our efforts. That's my wife right there. She couldn't be here. These are just some of the videos that we upload. We still upload social media and anything we can to raise awareness. During the same time of bringing awareness to our community, we were continuing to deal with the investigation and preparing for federal prosecution. Rumors were still going around that the death of our sister, rumors that it was cartel related, rumors that she was killed because she was an informant working with the local task force. Any and every bit of information people gave us, we took to the FBI and the local tribal police. Because it was drug related, people felt uncomfortable and would not speak with the police. They felt more comfortable speaking with us. The day after we found out about her murder, we got together as a family and made war posters and gathered our own money as a reward for any information about the murder. We flooded social media as well as radio stations, and eventually we ended up on ABC News in Phoenix. We even paid neighboring newspapers to have her reward poster advertised. The reward started out as $5,000 for our family. After a week, the tribe offered to pay the $5,000 and add another $5,000. And then the tribal police department put in another $5,000, so a total of $15,000 in reward money for any information for prosecution. During the investigation, our family stayed in close contact with the FBI agents who was the lead investigator because she was found naked. It was considered a SORNA case, so the tribal SORNA investigator was also working on the case. We kept information we found close to us, not sharing it with anybody other than the FBI. FBI as well only spoke with the family about certain information. We kept the tribal police and the tribal council out of the investigation as we wanted to ensure information was being shared one agency only and not being repeated inaccurately. As a family, we had to remind ourselves we have to trust the system. I tell you, this is the hardest thing to do because we've had so many experiences in our community where families feel they did not receive the kind of communication we had with the investigators and prosecutors. All in all, we did not give up. To trust, like I said, to not go back into the criminal realm myself, or me or my family, my cousins, to trust the police to do what they're going to do. they understood it, and there was a lot of things that they didn't share with the tribal council because there was too many leaks, and they wanted to get all the numbers and basically track where they're coming from. And so all that was that we would put out is what we do. And that FBI, they would give us certain details, but not a lot. Because we did not give up and working with the FBI in Arizona, U.S. Attorney's Office, we did get justice. Unfortunately, most families did not experience what we have. 8 months after Cynthia's murder, the FBI informed the family that they would be issuing and executing arrest warrants for the murder of our sister. I celebrated the news and kept my promise to the community by sharing a picture of my sister with one word, said victory. After the warrants were executed, they announced that they had arrested Sharon Clark and Jeffrey Williams for the murder of our sister. After that, FBI kept us up to date on all court hearings, every step of the legal of the federal case. In December of 2017, Jeffrey Williams was sentenced to 25 years. In January 2018, Sharon Clark was also sentenced to 25 years. Jeffrey is serving out his sentence in Mount Park Federal Prison. Sharon is serving her sentence at the Federal Medical Center in Texas. Our experiences is a demonstration of perseverance and trust to those all involved in the success of justice. We went before Judge Amitua. She's the first native judge assigned to the federal superior, and so we got to go before native judge, and she was real stern. I mean, when the killer spoke, they kept saying, "I can't believe I did this to my friend," and she stopped him and she made him stop using the words. How can you say that this is your friend after what you did? So she was totally for the family. Other families continue to help and support others who have the loved ones who is missing and are murdered. For example, unfortunately, we experienced another relative missing and believe she was murdered. In August of 2017, her cousin Malima Shakiazi went missing. She was found in September lying in the shower grave next to a field in the Parker Valley. Her death encouraged her family to seek out our help in getting justice and answers for her death. There were many questions left unanswered and did not make any sense to the family. They are still searching for justice to this day. This led to both families collaborating together to create a grassroots group called Stand Strong Together. This is a community awareness group against drugs and violence that is collaborating with the NMIWP groups. Today, we continue to fight for families and survivors. The outcome of the deaths of both Cynthia and Shaggy have changed all of our lives. It has led to the families joining different outreach programs, not only in our community, but expanding statewide and also in California. Their stories are being told and shared to help other families on how to deal with tragedies, such as what steps to take and where to begin to search for answers for justice. We may not be within a professional organization, but we have the experiences, passion, and commitment to support families. Cynthia's death affected us all in so many different ways. We are more aware that it can happen to anyone at any time. It happens more than people think. and made us realize that speaking out about it is important. More people are involved each year, and the awareness is expanding. As a community, we create stronger families, which strengthen our voice and our effort. We would like to share some words of advice again coming from our experiences. We understand the majority of the participants may be law enforcement or come from tribal or state agencies, but also to our families and survivors at MMIW people. Our words of advice: don't give up, keep pushing forward, get loud, be a voice, never give up on hope, listen to your instincts, pray consistently, walk in faith, don't give in to negative energy. You will always hear negative remarks about your loved one. Don't let it break you. There's always going to be victim blaming. They're always got something to say. And the very people that you think are going to help you will slam the door in your face. Every information is good information. You got to remember your loved one is worth the fight. Sometimes we take it personal when someone says or does something that we don't like, and we're just throw our hands up. You got to remember you're fighting for them. Specifically to our justice panel, little information is important to share with the family, like with police agencies, everything. A lot of times they feel like even having a little bit of information is not worth even contacting the family, but it's better than just leaving the family sitting there, not knowing what, a phone call, like, hey, I heard a minor, we check up on something, but a lot of times they don't even say that. Even if it's you're continuing the investigation, we have to provide. Work with tribal police because they are present. We see work with tribal police because they are present in the community. We need to strengthen the relationship and to build trust with our tribal police and programs. With us, it's like every other reservation. Tribal police, their family, they grew up and they know everybody in the reservation. They might drive by and they might know who, this guy, he's a meth head, this guy's a drug, this one's. And sometimes when they hear that something bad has happened, they don't take it serious because they're too close to the victim. So they don't say nothing, they don't act on it. And so to get a good relationship with the tribal police, to let them know that these things are going on and you're concerned, making them aware. Be present at the community awareness events. Get the tribal police to get more involved in the community rather than separating. You will gain trust of the people in the community. Talking about tribal police, if they just get out there in the community and work with the community, work with grassroots organizations such as that. Organizations that family also requested assistance in searching, especially when it comes to an adult person missing. A lot of times, when an adult goes missing, the first thing they say is maybe they don't want to be found, maybe they want to be out there, and that's what happened with Shaggy. They kept saying that she's just out there partying, that she just wants to be left alone. When the family knew, the family knows when there's something out of character and something wrong, you feel it and you try to explain that to the police, but they look at you like crazy, then they want to say, you got to wait a certain X amount of days or hours to fill out a missing person report. In the Operation Lady Justice Book, it says those officers that say that to get their badge numbers down, write down when you talk to them, how many times you talk to them, they start holding these people accountable, start holding everybody accountable, especially when an adult person is missing. These are some advice as a family that we would like to share that has helped us and or recognize areas of empowerment and better help families of MMIW and FMIG. Our experiences with the FBI was amazing. They worked nonstop until the case was solved. Even though our story had a good ending, we are aware that there are others that are not so fortunate. What we suggest to others, such as law enforcement, would be to keep information close to those who are trustworthy, offer a reward even if it doesn't generate any leads, show the family that the families want to know that their loved one is important, offer them a reward would make them feel important, would make the importance of their loved ones feel like you're trying to do something. It gives them hope and shows you are doing something to find their family member. Hold awareness meetings with the public. Inform the females and others of the dangers in certain areas, how to screen, how to defend yourself. And lastly, alert the public of any and all dangers that are among the communities, such as assaults, rapes, murders that are happening. If the public is not aware, we cannot prepare and protect families. We recognize gangs, drugs, and alcohol use is a problem. Having services such as treatment and other services. Do not be judgmental because you're experiencing something deeper than what is shown on the outside. So this is the closing, and this is just a story of, this is our story. This is one story of many, one story of missing and murdered. Our efforts assisted the judicial accountability, allowing our family to acknowledge that these murderers are sitting in prison. We may not have received life sentences, but there are convicted murderers and they're off the streets. We agreed as a family, we agreed to not push for the death penalty because we did not want to become murderers ourselves. I just want to thank Great Plains, everybody that had us up here. Thank everybody for listening and allowing me to share my sister's story with you. And if you have any questions, right here to answer. Oh no, this is no, yeah, that's the first time I didn't keep up that. No, Cynthia Williams, that's my sister, and
So that's her main.
yeah,
Okay.
that's the one, yeah, that's. These were what it was my sister. We found out that she owed a $500 debt of meth, and then there was a lady involved, and she was the lady was jealous of my sister. The guy, he was a pusher, and he would try to get my sister and get her to settle down. And so with, I guess, rejection and jealousy, that's how that murder occurred. That's why her head was shaking. That's why her shirt was ripped off. So when my mom, when they let us view the body, first thing out of my mom and my other sister's mouth was a woman did this. They could see the rage in there, but it was a woman and a guy who was both of them. They set her up, and when they got caught, they turned on each other. They turned on each other, and it was hard because people, when I was at work, somebody had sent me a message saying, "Hey, the killers are right here, and they're laughing and they're making fun about how they did your sister wrong." And I got mad. I went home and I was calling my wife. My wife, she's 16 years a detention officer, and I was praying. I called her I wanted her to be home because that's when I'm getting my gun. And she didn't answer the phone, so I got my gun and I sat outside the trailer and I started asking the creator, don't let me do this. I don't want to do this. I want this to end right now because the cycle is never going to stop. It's got to start somewhere. You got to stop it somewhere. And I didn't know if that was even real. What if it was the killer, sending out a wild goose chase? Well, it turned out that it really was that person. And the beautiful thing about the creator is he makes the shine on the wicked and the just. That day I sat outside with his judgment. I was going to go. I had no problem killing him. I didn't want to do it. I don't want to live that life no more. And so we sit in court, and as they're begging for their plea agreements, I was sitting there looking at them like, man, you don't even know you guys. And then I would have been the monster. In the beginning, it was our beautiful native sister was tortured and murdered. And if I would have did that, they would have said, look at them, look at those savage. Look at how they are. And because the killers were of another nationality, they were white, of course they would have had a big one. But God spared them. God spared them and spared me. And it came to me, stopped right there. We asked the Creator to let us be honorable, and we did. And I went to an AA meeting. Somebody invited me to an AA meeting, and I was sitting there. I see some girls sitting at the AA meeting, and they were laughing and giggling. So when they gave us time to speak, I told them, I said, you guys got to be careful. I said, I see my sister in you guys. And I told them what happened to my sister. And I didn't even know that the founder was sitting in that group. And a couple of days later, they called me. They asked me, can you put me a speaker at Crossroads Mission? And so I go over there and do drug prevention, gang prevention, give my sister's story. Just for speaking out, for fighting, for being honorable, it's planting some seeds. There's some seeds, and if you follow, you just be honorable and follow, and make your covenants with the Creator. He'll lead a path, and it brought me all the way out here. And 10 years ago, I was out there. I was doing nothing good. I was going nowhere, and now I'm standing. I'm being called different places to help. It's I just got done making a video letting everyone know that this isn't my journey. This journey doesn't belong to me. I'm speaking for people who cannot speak. What I do is for them, and I have to be honorable. The day I step sideways is like, that's it. It's done. So this journey, this movement is more powerful than you can think. I don't know if you guys have heard of Reverend Francis Beasley, Easy Common Ground. He just walked across the United States to raise awareness for MMIW, MMID, and all women of color. He's on Facebook, Easy Common Ground. He started off on May 16th in the city of LA, and he walked all the way to the Statue of Liberty. And along the ways, he stopped by other reservations that needed him to be there. And he wasn't doing it just for MMIW and MMID. He was doing it because he noticed that on the news, if you're not a perfect victim, you get no news coverage. And all of us we deserve to be equally looked for. And so he did that. He just completed it the other day. And he's holding press conferences everywhere, but he's another guy who God put it on his heart. He woke up one day and he was like, how can I help? How can I help? He said the Creator told him to start walking. He's like, are you serious? Across, come on, God. All right, so he obeyed. people that had lives you changed, people would stop it. Yes.
You had listed some stuff about steps to take,
Yeah.
and then one of the steps was to have a reward place.
Yeah.
Is that do you do it with your, like, the family presents the award to the FBI or the tribal police or the police department that you're working with, and do they hold on to that? How does that work?
Okay, it's how you word it. Like with us, at the time I had 2 cars, and my wife said I got 1,000. My sister said I got 1,000. All right, I'll just sell each car for 1,000, and we'll just say 5,000. And then you word it, and you say any information leading up to the arrest and conviction. So, you know what I mean? Because then anybody will just go and start pointing people out to get the money. And so until they're arrested and convicted, so you got to, as soon as they arrest somebody, start from there. You got about a year to 2 years to come up with money. And then once they get convicted, then you pay them. But in my sister's case, the tribes and the police department, they do the same thing. They're not going to pay nothing until after conviction. So you got a long time. So, like with Shaggy, the reward money, they had a fried bread sales, bake sales, and because the community knew what it was for, they came in. Even if they weren't hungry, they just supported it. So the 5,000 were put easy. Because everybody's in the same. It's like, no, you got about 2 years to get that money. And not only that, like I said, reach out to a grassroots community, a group. If somebody, even if they're from another state or wherever, they reach out to us and say, hey, we need help. Don't worry, we got print the posters out and get them out there because we need to get that information quick. And we'll pay it off. We got 2 years to come up with it. So 5,000 to start off with 5,000. Sometimes the FBI steps in and they take over the whole thing and say, we're going to put it for 10,000. All right, go ahead. But they're in the book. Okay. Yeah, in the Operation Legal Justice book, what that was it's a guidebook, and you open it, and it's supposed to start off something like this, this book. I know you're scared at this moment, you're panicking, so you might want to go, get a phone number that's more calm, and this is what you need to do. This book was made by survivors, and it gives brief stories of us because nobody wants to read a book that no one's been through, so you read it, and it gives you a template on how to make a missing poster. It tells you the information, what's her cell phone number, the last scene, trans, and it gives you a sheet telling you when you call the police, when you first notice a missing, take the number and the badge numbers on you step by step. It's put together by a bunch of survivors trying to do that. Comes to reward money too. The reward money, and also gives you the numbers of different agencies like the Human Trafficking Agency and all that, to where they can help you get your money too. There's nonprofits all over the place that are willing to help. But I think most of the help problems come from grassroots because all the money comes from our own pockets. So it's like you got to get permission. You don't have to get permission from anybody to do it. You just go out there and have fundraisers and all that. There's a way. That's what everybody always thinks. I don't have any money. I don't know anybody. My family won't help me because that's the most thing what we always hear. My family, they're out there drinking. They're not helping me. They're maybe it's making it worse. So, well, what do you mean? So, there's ways. Yes. Oh yeah, we reach out. As a matter of fact, in almost that whole part of Arizona, when anybody goes missing or they're looking for somebody, people will tag me in it, and I'll make a really quick like a picture and all that, and I'll just start blasting it because on my Facebook page, I'm like part of almost every single MMIW group, and if they're native, I just, you just start posting it to every site, and like you'll be amazed, like it's really helpful. Within, I say about I'm 3 years, within about 4 days they were found. It's really helpful. It's really helpful because everybody's on social media now with TikTok and YouTube and everything like that. I mean, there's like nothing you can't turn on and you won't see somebody's face. It really helps. Yeah.
This is maybe a little off course, but so the state of South Dakota is putting together a commission, or I may not be using the right words, for MMIW. And I don't know what they've done with that yet, but they've been tasked to create this. What as Native people can we do to like push it? Push the envelope. Make sure that there's Native representation. Make sure that Natives get seen and get the publicity, whenever one of our own goes missing versus, mainstream society.
Oh, we're right now what everybody's doing, the whole movement. It's catching fire on itself. I mean, it's like there's one sister that when France Beasley was walking across the United States, she ran from Navajo Nation to the state capitol for her aunt. It's things like that you do. Just get out there and get loud. I mean, they can't ignore us forever. I mean, it's out there right now. In the YouTube world, on the podcast, there's a lot of sites. There's a lot of sites with ex-convicts that are trying to stop people from going that route. And so I go on there and I bring stories or survivors from Parker on there. We did 2 so far, and got good views. A lot of people don't even know what's going on. They're just like, what's going on over there? And so, more or less, I guess, if I can get it out there and people point at it enough, you shame on me, they shame on me. Why don't you do anything about it? Why this? I know in Canada, there's a group called, I think it's called the Bear Clan, and they have a street there that is full of human trafficking, and that's where everybody goes to pick up prostitutes and everything, and it's a bunch of rape sisters there. And what they do is they put their lives on the line and they march through there holding signs in the hope of scaring the Johns off and humiliating the kids. And they do that every day, just messing with their their business, but they did that to show the girls we're doing this because you're worth it. And a lot of them, they run, they take off and they run. I mean, I don't know how successful that would be here, but that's just some things that I've heard during these conferences, and we got documentaries on it. And as far as the girls escaping, there is missions and stuff that are really, long-term missions, because it's a long-term problem. You can't just tell somebody to leave and run and that's it. They still have to do. And they got nowhere to go. Telling a girl to leave an abusive relationship is one thing. Giving her a safe escape is another. But everybody can sit there and take plus life because you stay there, but she ain't got nowhere to go. And so there's long-term places all over the place that let you stay there for, I think, like up to 13 months of rehab, and then after that, you get an additional 2 years of transitional living, where they'll let you get a job and then, pay a little bit of rent to save your money, bring the kids and stuff. Because those are the kind of places that I work with, like Crossroads Mission and Victor Valley Mission, the Lighthouse Mission for Women in Santa Barbara. There's places to go, but it's up to the rules. Sometimes the victims won't like you because you can't have a phone. You're not allowed to do what you want. So a lot of them get discouraged and they leave. But the school of rules, it's like you got to break it from this. Yes. Like if you come across a human trafficking victim. Oh, there's some agencies. I should have brought this up. Like the human trafficking agencies and hotlines and all that. And there's just so many that are springing up now. There's different grassroots groups everywhere. Like I was talking about my brother, Fresh Beasley, that just walked across the United States. He was invited to different reservations, and they called on him and told him their problems. And along the way, he also picked up information on where to go for help, churches, and everything that are willing to help, and, different organizations, different nonprofits. And yeah, you just got to reach out. I guess you would Google Operation Radio Justice, and it would have mostly all the numbers all the way clear down to the Amber Alert native country, and it just gives people resources of where to go, and you can tell them your story there. If they can't handle it, so you use the number of what can handle, who can handle that situation specifically that you're talking about. question. Okay. Actually, my sister's story, months before that she was murdered, she had got stopped at a check stop outside of Ehrenberg with an ounce of crystal meth, and she was put in the newspaper, and she begged the court not to let her out. She says, she says, I haven't been clean in a long time, but I want to stay here. And it was for custody too, because when she had went to court, they had a separate court, one for her criminal charge and one for the kids. And so me and my sister and her oldest kid attended that social services down here. And she begged the courts not to let her go because she said, I'm just going to use because I need more time to get my head straight. And she said, I feel like I'm going to die. And the courts have no reason to hold her. And so they had no choice and they let her go. A month and a half later, they found her. And me, I spent about a third of my life in prison. I've had to take responsibility for my actions. I'm a firm believer in taking responsibility for your actions. And I know now that I would rather have seen my sister in prison than see her be pulled out of a canal. I know now that people think I don't want to lock my son up because it means I don't love him. So that's a perversion of love. If you love your kids, if you love your sister, your brother, and they have a problem, and you see that they're compromised and that they can't make a responsible decision for themselves, the loving thing to do is to put them somewhere where because their decision is what's harming them. Put them somewhere where the decision is taken from them until they baby steps. It took me till I was 35 to finally start taking those steps. And a lot of people don't want to hear it. My mom used to tell me, she used to say, I'm happy when you come home. She says, but I can sleep better at night back in there because I know you're eating, I know you're safe. And that's, you know what I mean? I don't want to call it rough blubber with you, but I know it is. Jail and prison is like a house of prayers. When people are running around and they're drunk, they're not able to hear their conscience or anything. They're just drowned out by the world. As soon as they get locked up, that's when they're on the phones and they know what they did wrong. Please don't leave me. Please don't let me. They're begging, they're on their knees, and that's where they need to be. Some of us, we have to sit there and we have to take take responsibility for actions. So with my sister, it would have been exactly what she asked for. She wanted to stay in jail, but they didn't have nothing to hold her on. They even let her go on the meth. It's private. So,
Has she ever reached out to you guys like for help with like what your treatment or like reached
yes.
out to the family?
Yeah. My sister?
Yes.
Yeah, she did. Yes, she went. She went to rehab a few times, but a lot of the rehabs are voluntary. They're
Yeah.
so and part of that is 30 days. Yeah, 30 days is like just enough to get them clean and wanting to work. Yeah, get them ready for their next one. Just got to be long term. I didn't have a drug problem or alcohol problem, but I went to rehab because of what happened with my sister. And I probably had the biggest problem of them all. And I was there probably like 16 months. And I would go in there, and the people that were in there said I didn't belong in there. They were like, why are you here? This and that. Because my decision making, what happened with my sister is just like, I had to, my knowledge of the Bible ran its course. I can only stay with him so long. I need to get my mind more clear, and being at home around the investigation and everything was going on, I couldn't be. It was constantly fighting the urge to go back to my old ways and go seek out some vigilante justice. So when I was in there, that's when they announced that the warrant would be executed. Yes.
She's pointing her. She's pointing.
Thank you.
Family triggers the go there. That's how hostile it is. It's not like you're very hostile environment where you can't get those fortunate breaks that your family achieved. We had to murder back their base. So
They are very, very racist. Even though the natives they're racist too because they're being controlled by the ultimate supreme dictator. They're pulling the natives. They're not really. How do you address that? First story. How do you address that? How do you put all of them together? We have so much. It's us people won't come down. It's all night. By herself. So you gotta understand that every single one of them here have give up. That faith, how move really appreciate this. How do you her life?
Like what you said about the police and everything like that, I came out publicly against one of the sheriff of La Paz County. While he was in the office, he sent his deputy out, and while his deputy was out, he brought his girlfriend and his wife in his office and messing around with her, and they got him from officer on becoming. And then he was doing other things, and then he ran for the sheriff of the county and came out publicly against him, just to do that, because our area, we're the high drug intensity trafficking area in the nation. And if that sheriff's weakness is girls, what do you think the cartel has an unlimited supply of? Who do you think they're going to say, okay, you know what I mean? They're going to control the sheriff's office. I put it out there. I made a video. I put it out there going against them that, you know what I mean, about human trafficking. Sometimes you just have to put it, and it was dangerous. It was dangerous because when I would go to work, I would plug my phone into my car and I would check to see on what areas the signal would fill, and I would know not to stop in that area if there was a car beside the road or something. You know what I mean? I started getting my speed up, getting dangerous. And like I said, I'm an ex-millennial from California, so automatically I walked away from the game. I'm not supposed to be working with police enforcement at all, but yet I was at the National Training Center training police, so I'm like one of the ultimate like betrayers of that. But I accept that because I don't want to be part of that world anymore. I don't want to be confused with that world. And because of that decision of me putting my life on the line and then going into Yuma to do gang prevention, it inspired other people, and they started saying, I've been wanting to get away. And then that led to when my sister and another victim, I started getting messages from drug dealers of who those girls drug dealers were. You know, part of it could have been that they're trying to knock out their competition, but you know what I mean. It's like I was getting information, and I got partnered with the police department, and yeah, I worked with them on blast. When the tribal council elections go on, and you have that one meth house, and everybody in the reservation knows they suck in, and yet they still put up that sign that says vote for so and so for tribal council. I go and take a picture of that, and I blast all over the place. And when they see it, they're like, oh my God, there's kids in there. And I said, yeah, there's kids in there. You guys know that. And you guys still let it happen. And I put that out there. You know what I mean? it's like sometimes you have to first, or you have to show them what they're doing wrong. They got the family member so calloused over, thinking that, you know what I mean? Like you said, you know, the KKK, everybody, you know, they're just getting away with everything. Sometimes when you just put it on Facebook or you put it full print and show it to them, they'll be like, oh my God, how do you do that? And it's like, I'm just saying what everyone knows. And we took that, and now we're doing podcasts on YouTube, and you know, we get people to go on. I'm gonna keep you in part, and I have a channel, and he's probably watching right now. Friends Positive Vibes, and he's an ex, I guess, drug runner for the Mexican mafia, and but he's turned his life around, and he's trying to scare everybody away from doing that by telling his stories, and he gave us a platform. He said, "Go, come on here and tell us your stories." And so we did the first one. First, I went on there, and we got a lot of feedback, and a lot of people from all kinds of different states, and everybody said, "Oh, that's way out." And then after that, we brought on Katrina Gazi, and she told the case of her cousin, Paulina Gazi, and everybody, you know, that one got more views than anything. And so now we got another neighbor brother up in Dakota, Washington, called Lucky Logo, and he's got a YouTube channel where he makes fried bread because he has his own fried bread restaurant, but he's also putting MMIW on his podcast. So it's like, you know, the door's been shut. You're over here, and I can see it, like it's in the middle, you know, the hills and all that, and it might be, you know, you might feel like you're away from, you know, many miles away from the world, but with social media, we can all get together. Like, as soon as I get, I'm gonna give you my card. As soon as I get home, just download StreamYard, and then it'll be like, it's gonna be like a Zoom meeting, but it's gonna be a YouTube podcast, and then there's gonna be thousands of people watching, and you can get your stories out. Tell one story at a time, and you're gonna get more people involved. You know, because we all know an hour's not long enough for. You know what I mean? There's so much you wanted to say, so much you should say. And so we do it like, okay, let's do this for a week, every night at 8 o'clock. We'll just jump on and just start talking. And, you know, we're right. And that's how we do it. That's every morning I wake up, I think of new ways of this up, and we're crossing over. So it's a technology, so let's use it. Like we did with online nurses, and when they allow us to talk on and speak, to use it. Yeah.
Anything else? No, probably not.
Alright. Thank you guys, and I got some cards if anybody wants to get in touch. Guys, like I said, we'll be doing podcasts. We're willing to help in any way we can. This takes all of us to do this.
So much to take time away, life, and family, here with us. I want to remind everybody, please fill out the survey, the QR codes are on the table. Scan with your phone, fill that out. We have a few upcoming gifts for you. But we're going to do our raffle drawings now. So we've got $25 for it. We're going to give 5 away. Heidi, can you come up?
Yes, I agree.
Isaiah, can you come help me out?
Well,
Okay.
good.
Okay. Let's get Heidi up here.
Wheels on Jerry.
Get your tickets out and list your tickets.
Or
Ticket service. I'm going to have you draw them, okay?
For $10.
wow.
Shake them up really good. Who's got 295 4834?
Yes.
Sarah Bear. Get one more, Isaiah. Get another one. 395 4840. 395 4840.
Three, 9, 5, 4, 8, 3, 5.
All right. We've got 2 more.
Three, 9, 5, 4, 8, 3, 9.
One more. Did we get a winner on that one?
Three, 9, 5, 4, 8, 3, 6.
All right. And that's our winners for tonight. That's all we've got for tonight. I want to thank all of you for taking the time from your Friday night to be here with us. Please feel free to reach out, network with one another. There's a lot of people here who do a lot of really good work. I think together we can make a really big impact. Thank you, Mr. Meza. Thank you for your time to be here.
Thank you. It was an
Thank
honor.
you very much. And how you feeling with the gift card? Like I said, oh, the 15? Well, sure, let's go.
Yes, anything. Oh.
I want to thank the Holiday Inn too. They did an outstanding job.
Oh, yeah?
Providing food here and everything. So yeah.
It's break for now. It's a break for now. We'll be back at 12 p.m. It's break time. It's break time. So have fun. So have fun at your break. Have fun at your break. I repeat, have fun with your break.
At lacrosse, at our lacrosse location.
Thank you. Now we'll start back at
These are
10 p.m.
You got kiddos?
Yeah.
We got some maths too for kiddos.
Break.
Some stuff.
Thanks for watching. Please like the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching live streams. If so, okay, we have to go. Bye. Hold on. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Episode 1 is over. Break time. Back at 10 p.m. It's break time. Do whatever it takes. We'll be back at 10 p.m. I repeat, we'll be back at 10 p.m. Okay, gotta go. Bye. Thanks for watching.